The Steelers are not messing around when it comes to the offensive line this offseason and in this draft. Bully ball is definitely a theme with some of these picks. Getting back to Steeler football has been a theme. It's been a priority. And I like it. There's an argument that we should have taken a cornerback here. Like, we already drafted 2 offensive linemen with our first 2 picks. We got our receiver, got an inside linebacker. Now we could probably get a corner, bring in another guy. We got JPJ, Dante Jackson. Outside of those 2, what are we dealing with? Corey Trice coming off the ACL. Do we have anyone else after him? To be honest, like, I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Do we have anyone else? Because Chandon Sullivan's a free agent. I guess Darius Rush. Yeah, Levi Wallace signed with the Broncos. So yeah, we do need some cornerback help for sure. And TJ Tampa was still available. He was projected to go second round. He was still chilling there. Unfortunately, Kyrie Jackson went before us in the 4th, and a couple of those receivers I was hoping would be available went. Javon Baker and also Troy Franklin. So you had Mason McCormick there, guard out of South Dakota State, and the Steelers end up taking him. I like the pick, man. I like the pick because not only are we showing that, yes, building up the trenches is a priority. It's like a staple for us now. Like, we want to get back to Steeler football. Like, we do not want to get bullied around. And that has happened a little too often. Not only just on offense, but on defense. We've been getting bullied around a little too much. More than what Steeler teams should be. Like, some of these games where we're getting blown out and stuff, and it just seems like we're getting manhandled, and it's weird. It's not Steeler football. Like, even if you're losing, if you're getting blown out, you still give effort. You still are physical. Like, you're still playing football the right way. And that's something at times it feels like we've gotten away from. But with some of these picks, I think Tomlin and Colin and Wyatt were sending a message. It's like, nah, we ain't messing with that anymore. Nope. We were going to play a blue-collar, physical brand of football. So with McCormick, I think right off the bat, like, we drafted him in the 4th round, right? He's going to be a depth guy. I think we got our starting O-line set. Broderick Jones on the left tackle side of things. Left guard, Isaac Seumalo. Center, Zach Frazier. Right guard, James Daniel. And then right tackle, Troy Fautanu. After that, you got Nate Herbig back there as guard depth, center depth kind of. Spencer Anderson, guard depth, center depth. Dan Moore, tackle depth. And I think Mason McCormick just gets thrown in there with Herbig and Spencer Anderson. Man, I just said his name and I almost forgot it. Literally within the course of 30 seconds there. But yeah, I think he gets thrown in that mix of Spencer Anderson and Herbig as guard depth right now for this year. But with some like starter upside down the line. I think almost like how we drafted Kevin Dotson in the 4th. Way back, 4 or 5 years ago. Like, that was the same thing with Dotson. And that was the reports on him. That was the scouting on him. Like, he's got some upside. Like, if you could get him to develop fully, if you could tap into his potential, he could be a long-term starter for you. And that's what happened with Dotson. He got some spot starts in his rookie year with the Castro being hurt. I think someone else got hurt or someone else was playing poorly down the stretch of his rookie season. He ended up getting some time and looked good. Like, PFF graded him as one of like the best rookie offensive linemen back in 2020. And then he started games for us the following season. It's just, we played him out of position. He should have been right guard the whole time. He said right guard was his preferred position, but we were playing him at left guard. And even with that, he was a good player for us. Let's not get it twisted. He was solid. Could we have upgraded over him? Yes. And ultimately did by signing Isaac Seumalo, but I don't think we would have done wrong by sticking with Kevin Dotson last year as one of our starting guards. It just seemed like him and Tomlin didn't see eye to eye on things, and he was in Tomlin's doghouse for a portion of his Steeler career, and ultimately we moved on from him. But I think Mason McCormick could find a similar path to Dotson. Like maybe he's got to get a spot start here or there in his first year, or he's just competing with Herbig and Anderson for depth. But year 2, year 3, with James Daniel and his contract being up after this season, maybe he could find his way being a starter, whether it's left guard or right guard. From what I saw, he was playing left guard at South Dakota State. I don't know if he played any right guard. It seemed like he played a lot. He was there for a while, but I think most recently he was starting at left guard. But I like the pick, man. I just think it sets the tone. I think it sends a message for what the Steeler culture should be and what Tomlin and Colin want it to be for this foreseeable future. We got Russell Wilson in the house. We got that leadership. Now we got pieces around him, man. We got, again, going back to what I just said last video, I think this is almost like, it's almost perfectly crafted to how Russell Wilson had his offense in Seattle and when he was having success out there. Good O-line, good running game. Like you got like the Marshawn Lynch prototype in Najee Harris. Like big back, big bruising back. But obviously Najee Harris isn't as good as Marshawn Lynch. But you get the point. But then we also got a Jaylen Warren. Like Seattle never had a Jaylen Warren. We got the Russ running game combo is essentially what I'm trying to say. Good O-line. We got a Pickens, big receiver, just like Russell Wilson had DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett. I'm saying like we got that prototype in Roman Wilson here. Like we're building this out, man. We're gonna be run heavy with Arthur Smith. I like it. And it's not like the defense is getting any worse. We still got JPJ going into his second year. We got Minka Fitzpatrick in his prime, TJ Watt in his prime, Alex Highsmith in his prime. Hayward another year older, but we also have Keanu Benton getting another year older going into his sophomore year. Linebackers, are you kidding me? They're only going to be better. Come on, bro. Like, yeah, maybe we need another corner. And it wouldn't have been a bad pick to take TJ Tampa or one of these corners that are out here right now in the 4th round. But what type of expectations would you have had for a 4th round corner right now? Like, would they be starting day one? Because right now I feel like we got our starters. I feel like we got JPJ and Dante Jackson as our starting 2 cornerbacks. We need an inside guy. Because even if Trice somehow, some way balls out this offseason, becomes CB2, I guess we could bump Dante Jackson to the inside. But we need another cornerback or 2 in-house. But there's still some good free agents out there. Like, I think if you look at the landscape of offensive linemen that are free agents versus cornerbacks that are free agents, there's a lot more starting caliber cornerbacks that are out there versus high-end offensive linemen. And not saying we even need a high-end offensive lineman out there in free agency around. We need to sign a guy that's high-end because I think we got our starting offensive line in place. But that's why I think this pickup of Mason McCormick makes more sense than a corner in a way, because we're drafting McCormick for long-term. Whereas, like, cornerback, maybe we already have our long-term outside guy in-house in Corey Trice. Maybe we really believe in him that much. You think last year he was projected going 3rd or 4th round. Him and JPJ, maybe they're thinking those 2 guys could be our long-term answers. Darius Rush, he was supposed to go like 3rd round. So it ain't the end of the world, us not getting cornerback. We could still sign a dude in free agency. There's some guys out there. There's a Dory Jackson. There's Stephon Gilmore. Even if we wanted to bring back a Chandon Sullivan on a cheap 1-year deal to fit in the slot. There's options. But in terms of, like, future offensive line prospects, like a guy that could be a centerpiece for us, yeah, Mason McCormick could be that dude. Like, you're not going to find that in free agency. You can have, with a Mason McCormick, if, he develops, you could have literally 4 of these offensive linemen we've drafted in the last, not only this year, but in the last 2 years with Broderick Jones. If you're going to add him, we got 3 this year and Broderick Jones. You got these dudes that are going to be growing up together, just like it was with Pouncey, DeCastro, and all them. And we saw how our O-line was for a stretch of time there, the best O-line in the league. So I think that's what we're going for. I like the pick, man. I like the pick. So let's see what we do in the 6th round. We got a little bit of a layoff here between the 4th and the 6th because we don't have a 5th round pick. We got 2 6th-round picks. Let's see what we do. Let me know who you guys are eyeing up for those 6th-round picks. Who do you want the Steelers to target? I don't know who's going to be available because there's going to be a lot of picks in between now and then. But yeah, I think you could go corner at that point and then like a depth defensive lineman type of guy. Those would be the 2 obvious ones for me. Probably maybe even another receiver. I wouldn't mind that either, depending on who's available. Like if a Taj Washington's there or something, who knows? But stay chilling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the pick of Mason McCormick, and peace.